I'm a teacher in Minnesota. I'm doing this very low tech. I'm just wanting to point out a few things that I see, consequently do something like an apologia for Christianity. So natural and conventional symbols are the two different types of symbols that are at our disposal for creating not just stories, but any type of artwork. This is true for painting, or it's true for music, or it's true for dance or drama. We always employ either conventional or natural symbols. But the artist who really knows his stuff, who isn't just working as a sort of sleepwalker, will intentionally put these things in order to convey something to his readers. His readers will gain knowledge or gain an understanding of themselves and of the world around them by understanding these symbols and images. There is, however, a problem with this, because you see, the symbol is not the thing itself. Consequently, when we go to tell a story, we're going to have a problem with a separation between the thing represented and the image itself. There is a break or a lacuna or an abyss between that image and the thing itself. And as well as the image embodies the reality, or as closely as the image embodies the reality, that's where we find truth. Truth is itself a proximity of the thing representing and the thing represented, between the image and the reality. And the better the image can embody the reality, the more, as we say, true it really is. And therefore, there's the question that Pontius Pilate asked, which is the $60 million question: what is truth? Truth, Mr. Pontius, truth is that proximity of the image to the reality itself. Let me take an example, for instance, and show you what I mean by this use of imagery. A basic story that we tell to children is Red Riding Hood. And in the story, for those who are not familiar with it, Little Red wears a red cap, red cape, and she's told by her mother to go to her grandmother's house through the forest to take some sort of goodies to her grandmother. And the mother says, "Don't talk to strangers when you go through the forest." And so Red goes skipping and hopping along, and she goes through the forest, and she meets, lo and behold, a wolf that she's never met before. And the wolf says, "Where are you going?" And Red immediately strikes up a conversation with this wolf, maugre the edict that her mother put forward. And the wolf goes through the woods faster than Red Riding Hood, gets to Grandma's house, and devours Grandmother. And when Red Riding Hood gets there, lo and behold, there's the wolf who devours her as well. And in the original story, there's no woodman to save them. It's just, that's it. So much for Red. The story itself is loaded with natural imagery. There's very little conventional imagery in there at all. The red riding cap is a symbol of virginity. It's a symbol of the maidenhead that's not yet been broken, the young girl who hasn't experienced physical love. The mother represents the immediate future for Red Riding Hood. She's eventually going to become a mother. The woods, for instance, represents the realm of chaos and darkness, because what? A woods is chaotic and dark. It doesn't follow the laws of man, which are straight lines. It follows a law of nature. The wolf represents a violent force, a force that is traditionally associated, especially with sexual excess, or sexual devouring of other people. Grandmother represents the past for Red Riding Hood, her distant relative, so to speak. The devouring of Grandmother and then the devouring of Red Riding Hood mean that this young girl loses both her distant past as well as her childhood. By the end of this story, what are we left with? The only one left alive is Mother, so that she's moved into this realm of adulthood, this realm of motherliness. All those images in the story help to convey that message. Well, why do we tell that story to children? Every myth is geared to an age level. It's geared to the level of the person hearing the myth. At some ages, we are capable of handling certain realities, and at other ages, we're capable of handling other realities. When we're a child, we think like a child, and when we become an adult, we put away childish things. When we're young, we can handle certain things, and when we're older, we can handle other things that we couldn't handle when we're a child. You don't tell your child, for instance, that there are rapists or that there are dangerous murderers in the world. You don't tell a child that if you engage in certain sexual practices, you're going to lose your entire childhood. Why? Because to a 2 or 3 or 4-year-old, that's nonsensical. They don't have any sense of that at all. Moreover, you terrify them if they thought that lurking behind every bush was a rapist. So what do? We tell them this story. And that story then becomes the shield or the third way to think about this thing they couldn't think about otherwise. It becomes like the shield that is used to defeat the gorgon. Perseus, I believe, is sent to kill the gorgon and uses a polished shield because he can't look straight at the gorgon or else he'll be turned to stone. Well, when we look straight at a reality at certain ages, it turns us to stone. It makes us incapable of acting. Consequently, what do? We have a shield, a polished shield, that is a story or image that allows us to perceive that reality without looking directly at it. So that consequently, we're able to defeat it, conquer it, master it. We couldn't master it unless we had that shield, because it would be so overpoweringly terrifying that it would turn us to stone. Angel.